Imagine like a single geographic area, a single city, really holding 14% of the wealth and value of the entire planet.
Mm.
Just 1 million people sitting inside the gates, you know, reaping the benefits of the greatest technological leap in human history. Meanwhile, the other, 8 billion people on Earth are essentially locked outside just staring at a wall.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
Right. Like, that is not a pitch for some dystopian sci-fi novel. That is literally the San Francisco Bay Area right now. So welcome to April 2026.
It's pretty wild. I mean, the consolidation of wealth we're seeing in this post-AGI economy, and by that I mean a world driven by artificial general intelligence.
Yeah.
It's unlike anything we've ever modeled before.
Yeah.
And productivity is absolutely staggering, but, it is entirely localized. It's all in one spot.
Which brings us to the mission for today's deep dive. We are looking at a single, incredibly provocative source today. It's a freshly released press kit and an announcement from a company called EON AI Ventures. And they're stepping right into this massive wealth gap with a claim that they actually have a solution.
A very bold claim.
Exactly. So we need to unpack whether this is just like clever corporate marketing or if they have genuinely built an actionable blueprint for you, the listener sitting outside that Silicon Valley bubble.
Yeah, a way to actually survive and thrive when all the traditional career paths just vanish.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this, because to really evaluate their proposed solution, we kind of have to look closely at the underlying disease they're trying to cure, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, EON AI Ventures, they don't sugarcoat the situation at all. They frame their entire initiative around a very stark, very real economic crisis.
They really do.
In fact, their press kit pulls direct quotes from AI industry leaders to make the point. Like, if you look at the April 23 deep dive on the Moonshots podcast.
Oh, yeah, that one was heavy.
Right. You have these titans of the industry openly admitting that they've built a highly concentrated future. And they simply do not have a plan for the broader workforce.
Reading those quotes honestly made my stomach drop. I mean, Dave Blunden flat out states, to thrive post-AGI, you either need to be a founder or a joiner or an investor. And then he says all other career paths are going to disappear. He literally calls it a do-or-die scenario because, quote, no one's hiring.
Yeah, no one is hiring.
Let's just pause on that for a second.
Yeah.
The corporate ladder, we were all, told climb get an entry-level job, put in the hours, slowly work your way up. That ladder hasn't just been pulled up.
No.
The entire building it was leaning against has basically been vaporized.
It's gone. I mean, the traditional entry-level job was fundamentally about doing routine tasks to, learn an industry, right?
Right, yeah.
But AGI does those routine tasks instantly, flawlessly, and for a fraction of a cent. Therefore, the entry-level job is just economically obsolete.
Wow.
And on that same panel, Alex Wisner-Gross points out the desperate need for a plan for, and this is his phrasing, a country of non-geniuses outside the data center.
Ugh, that phrase. A country of non-geniuses. That is such a punch to the gut.
It really is.
It sounds incredibly dismissive at first, but he's identifying a massive structural failure. The current AI economy is designed by and for a tiny fraction of highly specialized engineers and venture capitalists.
Yeah, and you add to that Salim Ismail's observation in the source material. He notes that even massive established corporations, they completely lack the skill sets to redesign themselves for AI native operations.
Because they're just too big and slow.
Exactly. Their legacy systems are way too heavy, their corporate structures are too slow, so you end up with a situation where the average individual can't find a traditional job.
Right.
And massive corporations are paralyzed because they don't know how to integrate the very technology that's disrupting them.
It's like the tech elite essentially played a global game of musical chairs, but they bought all the chairs beforehand.
Yeah.
They locked the doors to the room, and the music hasn't even stopped yet for the rest of the world.
That is a very grim but very accurate way to look at it.
So into this terrifying void steps EON AI Ventures. They are pitching a lifeline that they call the AI Founder Program, which they claim is designed to bridge this exact economic divide.
Right.
Now, the mechanics look straightforward on paper, I guess. It's a 90-day self-paced sprint for a one-time payment of $975. But look, let me put my skeptic's hat on here. I am looking at a $975 entry fee to, quote, survive the post-AGI economy.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I have seen 1,000 targeted ads for drop shipping masterclasses and crypto wealth courses that promise the exact same thing. Why should anyone believe this isn't just another overhyped video course?
Well, skepticism is really the only rational response to a claim that big. But what's fascinating here is when you dig into the mechanics of what EON is actually offering, a major distinction emerges.
Okay.
They are very explicit that this is not an educational course.
Right.
They aren't selling you a series of video lectures on the history of machine learning or whatever.
Right.
They are selling you a business deployment platform to use, like an industrial metaphor. They aren't selling you a textbook on how cars are made. They are selling you the keys to a fully automated operational car factory.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you are buying the infrastructure and the leverage that, until very, very recently, required millions of dollars in venture capital just to access.
Okay, well, if I am handing over $975, I want to lift the hood and see the engine block. Because if it's not a course, what does that infrastructure actually look like?
Let's break it down.
Yeah, the press release breaks this down into 5 core pillars.
Yeah.
Let's dig into the mechanisms of these, because reading the list genuinely felt like reading science fiction to me.
It kind of is, yeah.
Pillar number 1, you get an allocation of 250 AI workers.
Right. High-performance AI agents running 24/7. Now, to understand why this matters, we have to look at the term shared cloud compute.
Okay.
If you wanted to run a fleet of 250 high-powered autonomous AI agents locally on your own, you would need massive physical servers.
Yeah, you'd need like a data center in your garage.
Exactly. A data center, industrial cooling systems, and a terrifying electricity bill.
Which locks out 99% of the population right there.
Precisely. So EON is fractionalizing the massive compute power they already possess. Your entry fee gets you an enterprise-grade allocation on their servers.
I see.
These agents can automate complex workflows, they can write code, analyze data, and scale operations around the clock without you ever needing to understand server architecture.
Okay, but let me stop you right there, because the concept of 250 workers is great, but it introduces an enormous practical problem.
What's that?
I mean, I am overwhelmed by managing my own email inbox.
Fair enough.
I do not know how to code. I don't know the first thing about managing a single software developer, let alone a fleet of 250 AI agents operating at light speed. Paint a picture for me. How does a non-technical person actually utilize a fleet of that size?
And EON anticipated that exact bottleneck, which is why the second pillar of the platform is what they call the Brainy 2.0 AI coach.
Brainy 2.0.
Yeah. Think of Brainy 2.0 not as a standard chatbot, but as your executive translator. The source material emphasizes that it utilizes a conversational interface for non-technical users.
So if I want to build something, I can use Brainy 2.0 like a general contractor. Let's say I want to build a house, but I don't know how to pour a concrete foundation or frame a roof. I just tell my general contractor Brainy 2.0 that I want a 3-bedroom house with a wraparound porch.
That is the perfect analogy. You provide the vision and the human intent. You just describe the outcome you want in plain English.
And then it just builds it.
Well, Brainy 2.0 takes that conversational request,
Yeah.
translates it into technical blueprints, and then assigns the specific microtasks to your 250 AI subcontractors.
That's wild.
Yeah, so like 50 agents handle the back-end coding,
Right.
20 design the user interface, 100 agents scrape real-time market data to ensure your product actually fits a need, and so on. It completely removes the technical friction between having an idea and executing it.
Okay, that makes sense to the production side. So I'm the architect, Brainy is the general contractor, and the 250 agents are the construction crew. But, you know, building a product is only half the battle. Historically, sales is the hardest part of any business.
Oh, absolutely.
I can have the best app in the world, but if nobody knows it exists, I'm just sitting in my living room with a piece of useless software. How does a beginner with 0 sales experience tackle that?
The distribution problem is what usually kills new startups. Which is exactly why the third and fourth pillars are arguably the most disruptive elements of the EON N package.
Okay.
You gain access to their distribution engine and the EON marketplace. The distribution engine is an automated platform that manages your customer pipelines.
So it's doing the selling.
Yeah, it generates leads, it handles outreach, and it facilitates the actual revenue generation. It essentially acts as your automated sales department.
And it plugs directly into this EON marketplace, which the press release claims has over 4,400 institutional buyers across, like, more than 80 countries.
Just consider the magnitude of that access for a second. Historically, if you built a B2B software tool in your basement in Ohio, how do you get a procurement meeting with a multinational logistics firm in Germany?
You don't. You just don't.
Right. You don't. That kind of access is gatekept by industry connections, super expensive conferences, and geographic proximity to hubs like Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
But EON is providing a curated global network where your AI-powered solutions
Mm-hmm.
are instantly positioned in front of an established audience that actually has budgets and is ready to buy.
But, I mean, I have to push back hard on that point, though.
Go ahead.
If there are 4,400 massive institutional buyers in this marketplace, why on earth would they buy a solution from me?
Huh.
A total beginner who just used Brainy 2.0 to build an app? These are massive corporations. Don't they have their own AI? Can't they just build it themselves?
It is a critical question,
Yeah.
and the answer goes right back to what Salim Ismail pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
Massive companies lack the agility to redesign for AI.
Right, they're too slow.
Big corporations are incredibly slow. They require committees, budget approvals, and months of risk assessments to do anything. You, as an individual AI founder, have zero bureaucracy.
Good point.
And you also have something the AI doesn't have: localized, niche human insight.
Give me an example of how that localized insight wins out.
Okay, let's say you used to work in inventory management for a specific chain of dental clinics. You know exactly where their supply chain bottlenecks are.
Right.
The massive tech companies in Silicon Valley do not know or care about the inventory problems of a regional dental clinic. But you do.
Yeah, because I lived it.
Exactly. So you take that hyper-niche human insight, you tell Brainy 2.0 to build a customized tracking solution, your 250 agents build it in an afternoon, and you deploy it through the distribution engine.
Oh, I see.
And the dental clinic corporation buys it from you because you solve their specific problem instantly, whereas their internal IT department would have taken 6 months just to schedule a meeting about it.
Wow. AI commoditizes the execution, but human insight is still the scarce resource. And that actually explains the necessity of the fifth pillar mentioned in the press kit, right? The EAFI credential.
Yes. The EAFI credential acts as the digital proof of your capability. It's a tamper-resistant, publicly verifiable URL.
Okay.
In a post-AGI world where anyone can claim to be an expert, buyers need a trusted signal. The credential proves to those institutional buyers that you aren't just some random person sending them an email.
It's proof.
It proves you possess genuine AI fluency and have the operational infrastructure of the EON platform backing your product.
Okay, let me synthesize what we've covered so far, because when you view the complete picture, it's a profound paradigm shift.
It really is.
For $975, they aren't teaching you business theory. They are handing you a fully staffed factory of 250 workers, an executive manager in Brainy 2.0 to run them, an automated sales department, instant access to thousands of global buyers, and the verified diploma to prove you own it all. You are bypassing the corporate ladder entirely and taking a private elevator straight to the founder level.
The overwhelm factor of starting from scratch is completely eliminated. But, handing over a 250-worker automated factory to an absolute beginner requires flawless, massive infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that brings up the operational reality. Who actually has the capability to deliver on a promise this huge?
My thoughts exactly, because a promise is only as good as the company making it.
Right.
If EON AI Ventures is like some fly-by-night startup that was incorporated 3 weeks ago just to capitalize on the AI hype cycle, I am keeping my credit card in my wallet.
Oh, absolutely.
So what is their actual pedigree?
Well, the source material provides some deep background that really changes the context here. EON AI Ventures is founded by the leadership behind EON Reality.
Okay.
This is an organization with 25 years of experience in immersive learning and extended reality, or XR, solutions.
Oh, 25 years. That's a long time in tech.
It is. They have been building complex digital environments, virtual campuses, spatial computing networks, enterprise training platforms for decades. They understand exactly how to build systems where non-technical users have to interact with incredibly complex digital infrastructure.
Wow, okay. That context completely changes the flavor of the press release. They aren't new to scalable enterprise transformation.
No, not at all.
There is a quote in the press kit from the chairman of EON AI Ventures, Dan Lidger-Scar, that I think captures the philosophical driving force behind all of this.
Yeah, it's a great quote.
He says, quote, "The AI industry has spent years building frontiers inside data centers, but little effort has gone into empowering the individuals and communities outside of them. The AI Founder Program exists to solve this structural gap."
He is highlighting the exact wealth concentration problem we started this deep dive with. The tech industry built the automation, they reaped the massive market cap in their little geographic bubble, and essentially left the rest of the world to figure it out. It's the ultimate move fast and break things scenario, except this time, the thing they broke was the entire global job market.
Right. And EON's response relies on a critical technological distinction they make about their platforms. They operate the enterprise AI platform and the virtual campus. And they point out a massive structural flaw in the generic consumer AI that most of us are used to. They argue that consumer AI tools, the chatbots most people have on their phones, only deliver about 80% quality.
Which is an incredibly important metric. If you are using a generic AI to, say, brainstorm marketing slogans or suggest a recipe based on what's in your fridge, 80% accuracy gets the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
If it hallucinates a little bit and suggests weird ingredients, no harm done.
Right, but if I'm selling logistics tracking software to a multi-million-dollar institutional buyer on the EON marketplace, 80% accuracy is a catastrophic failure.
Completely.
If the AI hallucinates a shipping lane, a company loses $1 million of cargo.
Yep.
So how does EON bridge that gap from 80% consumer quality to 100% precision? Like, what is the mechanism there?
It all comes down to architecture. Generic AI is trained on the open internet. It's built to basically guess the most likely next word, which is why it hallucinates.
Okay.
EON's enterprise tools are fundamentally different. They use closed data loops, strictly defined parameters, and proprietary enterprise structures.
So it's not just guessing.
No, the AI isn't freely guessing at all. It is executing a defined workflow within strict logic gates. They are promising enterprise-grade reliability grounded in verified data rather than, consumer-grade toys.
That makes sense.
And that is the only way a marketplace of 4,400 institutional buyers would ever trust the platform.
So we have to ask the ultimate question here. What does this all mean for you, the listener?
Yeah.
We are staring down the barrel of an economy where the entry-level job is basically dead, and the tech titans are openly admitting they have no plan for you. Is the only way forward to become a digital entrepreneur? Are we all being forced into becoming founders of our own AI fleets just to survive?
I mean, the tech industry has left a massive, terrifying void. And EON AI Ventures is attempting to fill that void by democratizing the ultimate asset of this new era AI leverage.
Right.
They are taking the keys to the automated data centers and trying to hand them back to the public.
Huh.
It is a bold attempt to give the average person the exact same operational firepower as a Silicon Valley startup.
If it works, it truly could be the lifeline that millions of people need to remain economically viable.
Absolutely.
But as we wrap up this deep dive, it leaves me with a final thought, a provocation that I really want you, the listener, to chew on.
Where does this all lead us?
Exactly. Think about the sheer scale of the success scenario here. If the AI Founder Program completely succeeds, if suddenly millions of people outside of Silicon Valley step up, pay their entry fee, and gain access to the exact same fleet of 250 AI workers.
And they all have access to the exact same EON marketplace, targeting those same institutional buyers.
Right. Does that actually democratize the economy? Or does it just create a hyper-accelerated, hyper-competitive new world?
It's a scary thought.
If everyone possesses the ultimate technological leverage, does anyone actually have an advantage anymore?
Right.
Or are we just entering an era where human ideas are commoditized the very second they are born, and we're all just trapped in a brand new race to see whose AI workers can out-hustle everyone else's?
It really forces us to ask. When the tools of limitless creation are perfectly distributed to everyone, what becomes the new scarce resource?
It changes how you view that vanished corporate ladder. I mean, the building you were supposed to climb might be gone, but the real climb might just be getting started.
Very true.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the consensus, keep looking for your leverage, and above all, stay insanely curious. We'll catch you next time.